Forensic science is the hottest topic since Miss O'Leary's cow started the Great Chicago Fire. I am Douglas Posey, MD, ME, retired after 33 years of active practice in anatomic, clinical, and forensic pathology. I'll be presenting a series of episodes under the title Realworld Forensic Science, and that is to be distinguished from CSI, or the television crime scene investigation. During the next many episodes, we're going to look at the background of forensic science, players of forensic science, and the multiple disciplines within the forensic science. After which, we'll continue with a series of interesting, intriguing, and sometimes frustrating cases. If, and it is, the medical legal death investigation system is important to the public health, the criminal investigative system, and last but not least, the families of the deceased loved ones. Why is the medical legal death investigation system in this country described as a frayed patchwork of medical examiners, coroners, or some combination thereof? 21 states have medical examiner system, 11 have coroner system, and 18 have some combination of the two. A system implies completeness, working together, and uniformity. The medical legal investigation system in the United States exhibit neither completeness, working together, nor uniformity. Regardless of the system, 50% of the population find themselves under the coroner system, and the remaining 50% find themselves under the medical examiner system. At this point in the introductory episode, we should pause to make sure that we understand what we're talking about when we say a coroner or a medical examiner. The coroner is a carryover from the Old English system wherein a crowner was involved in the investigation of the death of subjects to protect the interests of the king. The sheriff has the responsibility, but was suspected of not being totally truthful, so a crowner was installed to watch over the sheriff or replace him. Coroners in our system in the United States are elected officials. They're usually not physicians. The requirement to become a coroner may be minimal. The coroner usually must rely upon the help of the pathologist to get autopsies done, and the coroner usually have another job that takes priority in his or her life. The requirements to become a coroner differ from state to state. It was once described that to serve as a coroner in Georgia, the individual must be a registered voter, at least 25 years of age, no felony convictions, high school graduate, or equivalent, swear that he or she was telling the truth to the above questions, and an annual training period of 1 week. Medical examiners, on the other hand, are almost always physicians. They are appointed rather than elected. They are usually pathologists, and they're most often forensic pathologists. The terminology is unique and so confusing that an untrained individual would need a scorecard to identify the players. For example, coroners are appointed and not elected in Hawaii, Kansas, and North Dakota. Coroners are physicians, not necessarily medical examiners, in Kansas, North Dakota, Louisiana, and Ohio. Coroners are sheriffs in some parts of California. They are prosecutors in Nebraska and some parts of Washington state. They are elected 2 per county in New York, and they are known as the Justice of the Peace in Texas. I was personally miffed when a seasoned journalist in Texas referred to me as the coroner. As mentioned above, we do not have coroners in Texas. In addition, my education, training, and experience consisted of 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 1 year of internship, 4 years of anatomic and clinical pathology residency training, and a year of fellowship training in forensic pathology. The confusion in our terminology is not limited to coroners. There are medical examiners variation and confusion as well. In some states, a physician, not necessarily a pathologist, who assists in death investigation or function like a coroner is called a medical examiner, for example, in Michigan. In some states, the medical examiner is not necessarily a physician, for example, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. In addition, some people who do insurance physicals or job-related physicals are also referred to as medical examiners. Once again, depending on the state, you need a scorecard to identify the medical examiner. You'd have to be familiar with state law. Ideally, a medical examiner would be a forensic pathologist. If we take a look at the offices where the medical examiners work, there are 465 offices where forensic autopsies are performed in this country. In 2004, the last year in which I could find data, only 40 of 465 offices were accredited by the National Association of Medical Examiners, the applicable accreditation body. This body establishes minimal criteria by which the office should function to apply for and be inspected to become accredited. I would like to emphasize that this body establishes minimal criteria for accreditation. The small number of offices accredited in the United States beg the question, why? And the truth is that some offices cannot qualify. Many offices cannot meet inspection and accreditation standards, and in some offices, the caseload is too high. The National Association of Medical Examiners will not accredit an office where any one pathologist is doing more than 250 autopsies per year. The thinking, when one exceeds 250 autopsies per year, it's not if but when the mistakes will occur. During the opioid death crisis, it was alleged that some offices were willing to give up their accreditation so that they could have their medical examiners perform more than the requisite 250 autopsies per year. And that was going to be done in order to try to keep up with the workload. The opioid death crisis was followed by COVID-19 pandemic, and the medical examiner's capacity has been pushed to the brink.